Coming up on Cardinals Insider.
I know they're going to take their best shot, and we got to take ours.
There was a familiar face in the other dugout for the White Sox. Plus, what's it like to be on a big league road trip? We show you from start to finish. And later,
makes you remember how hard hitting is, but how rewarding it can be at the same time.
Who says pitchers can't rake? If 2021 is it for pitchers hitting, then they're going out with a bang. All those stories and more ahead on today's Cardinals Insider. Welcome to Cardinals Insider. I'm Ozzie Smith. For 16 seasons, Tony La Russa guided the ball club here in St. Louis. He stepped away after 2011 and has had several front office roles across the league since. This winter, he rejoined the White Sox, bringing his managerial career full circle. And last month, the Cardinals faced their old skipper for 3 in Chicago. Here's more on seeing Tony in the other dugout.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, could have expected the Cardinals to be in this position even midway through September. Nobody. Back is Craig. What a team. What a ride. The Cardinals are world champs in 2011.
Is there any extra emotion associated with playing your former team?
It's uncomfortable. It's distracting. So what you got to do is you got to tune it out. Be glad when the 3 games are over, but I know they're going to take their best shot, and we got to take ours. But, I know it's a different series.
It's going to be odd and different tonight to see in that opposing dugout Tony La Russa.
Mike Schill, Tony La Russa, St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago White Sox.
Mike, when he first joined the organization, it was within a year that everybody on our big league staff knew that he was special. I mean, he's got the desire to learn. He's a pup out of George Kissel, and the way he advanced through the system as a manager, winning everywhere. It's no surprise. I mean, this guy's very special. He gets guys to play. They play the game right. Success speaks for itself. There's no chance to outmanage him. It's not going to happen. I'm more worried the other way around.
Well, I mean, that's very kind. He's been very gracious to me for many years now, and it's very grateful for all the wisdom he's been able to portray in me and the patience on some days he's probably shown me, and just very grateful. I followed him from afar, and it's been nice to, over the last over 10 years or so, more than that, probably closer to 15, get to know him closely, and I'm grateful for the words and excited about the Cardinals and the White Sox playing, because that's really what it's about.
Out to center, Carlson. Did he make the catch? He did, and keeps the White Sox off the board. And Vaughn lifts it out to deep left, and it is gone.
I really think we'll just play a baseball game, irrespective of who we play, but I can't say there won't be some surreal feeling during the game at some point, beginning of the game, and might be one of these things also you look back on and reflect after it's all over.
Day one spring training to the day, I've never had the first regret. It's the only thing I know how to do. I'm very fortunate to get this opportunity with this team. The spirit on this team matches its talent. We just got to keep improving. I'm really enjoying coming to the park just to watch them compete and watch them grow. I had the opportunity of being upstairs to, whether it was with Arizona, a lot with Boston, 1 year with LA. I knew all about the different sources of information that are available now. Getting down and actually trying to put it together with traditional kind of, strategy, who pitches, when you pitch, game stuff. I just think it's a wonderful time because the information, there's a lot of really good stuff. You just have to, and we have a really terrific staff. You need to blend it, man. You can't let it cloud, what your instincts are and what you're observing, but you don't want to give the Heisman either. There's some very helpful stuff, and that is different from, 2011 and before.
Hendricks comes in with the bases loaded, nobody out. strikes out 3 in a row.
The old saying says that baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. There's a lot of reasons for that. One of them is travel. A late night flight followed by a game the next day can be tiring. Still, there's something fun about hitting the road in the majors. Here's a look at one of this year's trips from start to finish. Straight ahead on Cardinals Insider.
Hit to deep left field. Flaherty has just hit a home run.
A look at Cardinal pitchers who've made noise at the plate. Then later,
he's clearly a player that we celebrate because he opened the door for so many other players.
looking back on the first black Cardinal, Tom Alston. Last season, the COVID health and safety protocols erased pitchers hitting from the game. Hurlers are back at the plate in the National League this season, but their status for next year is pending. Potential rule changes this winter could usher in the universal DH. It's too soon to know for sure, but there's a chance we're watching Cardinal pitchers hit for the final time ever. And if so, they're proving that pitchers aren't always an automatic out.
Steady blazing.
Kim will beat it out, and it's a base hit for Kim. First big league hit, Kwang Hun Kim.
Congratulations for the hit.
Waldo said, congratulations on your first hit. Really appreciate that effort. And, that was a big hit to start that inning off. So a lot of positives from KK tonight. Takes a tough at bat.
Hit to deep left field. Flaherty has just hit a home run. His first major league home run.
He knew it right off the bat. 3-0 St. Louis.
Just amazing.
I thought he threw the ball pretty well. Just, a couple of ones here and there, but it was fun to go up against him. Hard to kind of keep a straight face when he got in there.
Did you come away with that baseball?
Yeah, I believe so.
Does that stay with you, or does that go to the Mama Blair collection?
She'll get it. It'll go straight to her collection.
Commish asked earlier before the game about the pitcher's battle, and I just summed it up that Jack's one of some of the best at bats I've seen anybody take in the National League for the pitchers, and hitting a ball over the bullpen more than validates that.
I think I've watched Adam Wainwright's reaction to your home run at least 20 times.
I've seen that. A lot of people said that to me. It was, that's who he is. He's happiest for everybody else. It was funny seeing that.
Guys get fired up when Waino gets a hit.
Swing and a base hit to left field. Here comes the run. The run scores and the Cardinals lead 1-0.
But Adam Wainwright comes through with the clutch 2-out hit.
Line shot into left field off the bat of the Cardinal pitcher, Miles Michaelis, and he's going to get to second base with a double.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, my first couple of bats, you kind of remember how hard it is, and then you get frustrated with how hard it is, so you start guessing, and then you guess right and actually put a decent swing on a ball. It's makes you remember how hard hitting is, but how rewarding it can be at the same time.
Still to come.
There's just a little bit of an added electricity around the stadium.
When a big leaguer goes on a rehab assignment, it causes quite the stir. When a big leaguer is coming back from injury, he often heads to a minor league affiliate to log in a few innings. It's called a rehab assignment, and it can cause quite a stir in a minor league city. Here's more on this week's Farm Report.
It's time for the Farm Report, and for that we bring in our AA broadcaster Andrew Buckbinder from Springfield, and we're talking today about something that's pretty fun for folks to get to see in Springfield or across the minor leagues when a big leaguer comes down for a rehab assignment. Andrew, what is the ballpark like when a name like Molina or Wainwright or someone like that comes to town for one of those assignments?
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, we always prefer to watch them at Busch Stadium, right, healthy. But when things happen and they have to make a major league rehab assignment, it's great to have them at the ballpark. They're always so gracious with their time, and there's just a little bit of an added electricity around the stadium. Normally, they get in the night before or the morning of the game. They go through their routine. They get to the ballpark about mid-afternoon when you'd expect them up there as well. You know when those guys are in town because news has gotten out in advance, and there are folks waiting by the door for the autographs as early as 10 a.m. sometimes before a 7 p.m. game. So it's just a lot of fun from start to finish. I know our guys on our team always look forward to those moments too, because they always love to pick their brains. I mean, when Yachty comes down, you know, our catchers have a great time just learning from him. Everybody does. And I think that there's both, you know, getting to pick his brain and asking him questions, but just also watching how he goes through his day and watching how he gets himself ready is so beneficial for young players to get to see. So they kind of go through their normal pregame routine with those guys. They play the game. If it's a starting pitcher, they normally get to whatever pitch count they need to, and then they come out. Sometimes they'll hit the road after that. If it's a relief pitcher, they normally come in at a clean inning to get a full inning of work whenever fits best in the game. And the position players obviously have their plan as well. After the game, normally there's some media availability too to get a quick couple minutes with those guys once they come out of the game. Position players sometimes choose to do that before the game. What is one aspect of it though that our players really look forward to is typically the major leaguer will buy a post-game dinner for the team too. So that can be a lot of fun for our guys. They typically get to eat pretty well when they're rehab assignments.
He's Andrew Buckbinder, the play-by-play guy for the AA Springfield Cardinals. I'm Brett McMillan. That's the Farm Report for this week.
Still to come.
Popcorn with Sour Patch watermelon and a blue slushie.
What do Cardinals like to eat? We asked. See how they answered in just a bit. In 1954, Tom Alston broke the color barrier for the Cardinals. His on-field accomplishments didn't become legendary, but what he did for making baseball and life equal in St. Louis can never be forgotten.
Before the 1953 season, the Cardinals changed ownership. Anheuser-Busch took over. Gussie Busch became president of the ball club, and he noticed something about the roster right away.
When he looked at the Cardinals roster, he actually noted the absence of black ball players and black athletes. He very quickly set out to change that.
Gussie knew he sold beer to people of all races, and he wanted all fans to feel a sense of connection to the team on the field. So he signed a scout named Quincy Troop. His mission, to find the best black ball players possible to integrate the Cardinals.
And he signed a very popular Negro Leagues and Major Leagues catcher named Quincy Troop. Troop was the first black catcher in American League history. And Troop had relationships far and wide throughout the United States, throughout organized baseball.
Troop signed a player named Lynn Tucker first, but he never cracked the big leagues. Next came the man who would, Tom Alston, a standout for the Pacific Coast League's San Diego Padres.
Busch became enamored with Alston. He kind of fit the mold of this strapping ball player. And he wasn't necessarily muscular, but he was tall. He was 6'5" tall. He was called Tall Tom or Long Tom. He was a little bit lanky, but he had the possibility to grow into a power hitter.
Bush sent 4 players and $100,000 to the Padres in exchange for the first baseman. That remains the most expensive deal for a barrier breaker by any major league club.
That put enormous pressure and expectation on Tom Alston coming to St. Louis.
Alston had a good spring in '54. He made the club out of camp. He homered for each of his first 2 big league hits. But after a fantastic May, the league learned he couldn't handle high inside fastballs. He was demoted at the end of June, appearing in just 25 more games for the Cardinals during the next 3 seasons.
He's clearly a player that we celebrate because he opened the door for so many other players. Not just Bill Greason and Brooks Lawrence, who would also come up in the 1954 season. Bob Gibson and Curt Flood would make their debuts in 1959.
Almost 7 decades after his debut, Alston's impact is still felt. The record books don't bear his name, but the history books always will. For Cardinals Insider, I'm Emily Stevens.
All summer, we're celebrating 50 years of Mike Shannon in the booth. And so far this season, we've relived some of Mike's classic calls. We'll have more of that as the summer goes along. But we're also going to begin letting you hear messages from Shannon's celebrity friends, like this one from one of his former teammates who just happens to be one of the greatest pitchers of all time. It's lefty, Steve Carlton.
Mike Shannon, Steve Carlton here, pal. Hey, congratulations, 50 years of Cardinal baseball. I know we'll see you in Cooperstown one day in the Hall of Fame. All the best to you in your retirement. Take care.
If you're enjoying these tributes to Mike, you might also enjoy the newest Cardinals Insider podcast. The host of the show, Brett McMillan, has more. Brett?
On the newest episode of the Cardinals Insider podcast, we dive into the Cardinals Radio Network archives for a conversation with the newest member of the Cardinals Hall of Fame, Keith Hernandez. Keith joined Mike Shannon and Mike Claiborne for a Live at Shannon's in 2017 and told some great stories, including this one about the late Lou Brock running on Reds legend Johnny Bench.
And Lou comes to me, and I'm hitting third, and he goes, "Don't take any pitches from me." He goes, "Don't worry about me. I'll get my stolen base." He goes, I go, "Why?" And he goes, "Johnny Bench has this reputation of throwing out runners, and when guys get on base, he puts down number 1, so you go to Whalen." And he was right.
That story and more as we listen back on this classic Live at Shannon's episode, available right now at cardinals.com/podcast or anywhere that you get your podcast. It's Keith Hernandez, Mike Shannon, and Mike Claiborne on the latest installment of the Cardinals Insider Podcast.
Still to come? You ask, I answer. It's Ask Ozzy after the break.
It's time for this week's Ask Ozzy. Cooper in St. Louis says, "I'm 11 years old and I want to know, what was your relationship with your teammates like?" Well, my relationship with my teammates was great. I was very fortunate to play on some teams here where the guys they understood the importance of teamwork and they were willing to make the sacrifice to do whatever it took for our team to win. So my relationship with the team was always good. In the 80s, we didn't have a whole lot of turnover, so it was important to know who was around you every day. And when you have that type of consistency, it makes it easier to play. Guys understood what their roles were, and they did their role to the best of their abilities. And I think that was a tribute to the manager who gave us that consistency that we needed as a team, and it made us play that much better, and it was easy coming to the ballpark every day. Thanks for the question, Cooper. If you want to submit a question, head to cardinals.com/insider and click the Ask Ozzy tab. There's more still to come here on Cardinals Insider, so don't go anywhere.
No place takes you in depth with the Cardinals like our YouTube channel. Get to know the players. Come along for one-of-a-kind experiences. and hang out with personalities from across Cardinals Nation. Plus, we captured the days and moments that make Cardinals baseball so special. Just search St. Louis Cardinals on YouTube and be sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. St. Louis Cardinals Baseball. Fly.
St. Louis is a great food town. You can find just about any cuisine or style of food you're looking for. That got us to thinking, what do Cardinals like to eat? We asked, and here's what they said.
I eat a little bit of everything.
I like Cuban food because my parents are Cuban, so.
Fish. Nice, fresh cooked, fresh caught fish.
I like pizza. The Mexican food in San Diego. Get a good California burrito.
I'm going to the movies. It's gonna be like popcorn with Sour Patch watermelon and a blue slushie. Sometimes I'll be adventurous and mix them. If they have the third Coca-Cola option, which is kind of a throwback, I'll throw that in there as well.
Probably like hamburgers.
Breakfast food, a bacon, egg, and cheese, blueberry bagel, lightly buttered.
White rice, black beans, and chicken.
Let's see, for dinner, can't go wrong with a steak. I'm like a ribeye guy, but I do like filet sometimes if I'm, want the taste, but I want the mass. And
American steak and potatoes.
Late night snack, gotta be Cinnamon Toast Crunch or coffee ice cream.
I think I would go American food, I'm a burgers and dogs man. Fries, French fries, maybe a tater tot or two.
That's it for today. You can watch this station each week or catch full episodes on YouTube. Plus, we're always online at cardinals.com/insider. Until next time, I'm Ozzie Smith, and I'll see you next week.